All right, welcome to another We've Been Different video. Today's video, we're just gonna put point guards from the NBA in a tier list, and it's gonna be starting point guards, or at least I think those are the images that we have below. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. First name here, Jalen Brunson, the newest Knicks point guard. He is, I'm gonna put him all-star caliber. He had a really solid season with the Mavericks. You guys know he just got the bag. Someone who's odd in that he plays a lot more than a point guard would at the post, posting other point guards up. But it's interesting to see, and this guy can get a bucket when needed. On to the next one, Jamal Murray. When healthy, we haven't seen it in a while, obviously. This guy proved to be a problem. And I'm looking forward to this next season because we're going to see him back, hopefully, to his former self, in that he can score, he can pass, not the best defender, but he's a really solid playmaker and he can hit the three. So, Jamal Murray, all-star caliber. Here we have Killian Hayes. Oh, man. Just not good rookie season. Very forgettable rookie season. We're just going to kind of move on from that. How old is Killian Hayes, by the way? He is 21. So, it wasn't even his rookie season. That was his second season. Oh, man. Not a good outlook for my friend Killian over here. Anyway, Steph Curry, superstar. You guys know how it is there. Just come off of a chip. Best three-point shooter of all time. Handles one of the best of all time. Just can't say enough about him. On to the next one, John Wall. We haven't seen John Wall in over 2 years. I really, really believe that this guy's still going to be an above-average point guard. He's going to play for the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm a Laker fan, and John Wall's my favorite player not of all time. He's been my favorite player for the past 10 years, so maybe all time. Anyway, it hurts me to say it, but go kick ass with the Clippers. I hate that you're on the Clippers, but I think he's going to show the world that he is not rusty, or he might come out rusty, but he is not done. He's still got it. And so I saw on Reddit, some people were like, he's going to make a good backup point guard. John Wall's not signing with the Clippers if he didn't think that he was going to start. If he wasn't told he wasn't going to start next to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. John Wall is going to start. So let's not get that twisted. And if he doesn't start, I'll be damned. You guys can hit me with a bunch of different angry comments, dumb comments, whatever. John Wall's going to start on the Clippers. Malcolm Brogdon. Oh, shoot. Above average. I don't think... So the problem with Malcolm Brogdon is he's been on the Pacers and you just don't really get to see the most of him. You don't get to hear a lot about him. But he's just one of those smart basketball players. Solid handles, solid jumper, solid passing, doesn't excel at one particular thing. Definitely just an above average point guard. Reggie Jackson, definitely above average. I guess I shouldn't really worry too much about making it in the perfect order. I just want to keep it in the tiers, I guess. Reggie Jackson came out the season, even with Kawhi gone, took a big step forward in saying that he's going to fill a bigger role. And he really just did. He showcased that very well, hitting some big-time shots. While there were some games where his offense was a little anemic, it happens to the best of them. But when he doesn't have it going, I really feel like, geez, it's kind of a struggle. Anyway, Pat Bev. I think he's an average point guard in terms of skill. His leadership and what he does for your team is above average. But, you know, not much to say on him other than he just does a lot for your team morale. And other NBA players know that. He'll get under your skin and he'll hype up your own. And if you're on, he's like one of those players where if you're on his team, great, you love him. All the 31 other fan bases are going to hate him. And I've seen a lot of it. Russell Westbrook, don't care what anyone says. This guy is not below average. He had a terrible season, yes. He's still starting caliber player. I believe that he'll pick things up moving forward. I think that he'll be a better defender, still bad, just not terrible, I guess. I think there's a lot that went wrong this past season with the Lakers. Just not a lot of accountability on his part either. But right now, you just got to kind of consider him average. There's no way you consider him below average. Ja Morant, superstar. I mean, come on. I just shouldn't have to rant about Ja Morant. A lot of these bigger names you just don't really need to say a lot of because you guys know better than me, honestly. Like, I didn't even bother watching a whole lot of Ja Morant this season. I was kind of caught up in more of the low-key players, trying to, I guess, widen my scope of things. But every time I watch Ja, especially when he was healthy in the playoffs, he's jaw-dropping for a reason. Lonzo Ball, above average. Wasn't healthy also, but when he is, his jumper has taken a turn for the better. He's actually a really solid three-point shooter now. His vision has always been far above and beyond the rest of the median of the NBA. Really solid there. His defense has always been really solid. The only reason why he's only on above average is because he has never been healthy enough to be on all-star caliber. And a lot of the biggest problems early in his season were with the Lakers with his lack of shooting, but it seems like he's fixed that. So, Lonzo Ball above average. Trae Young, perennial all-star. I wouldn't call him a superstar just yet because I don't think he's on that level of Ja Morant or Stephen Curry. I think his defense is just too big of a liability in that sense, and I think he can be taken advantage of. Also, we saw in the Heat series that he can get clamped, and he can just get so constricted in what he can do, and the Heat really showed that they can do that. Jrue Holiday, it's like, this is one of those that's really hard because it's like, you know, he's not as good as Trae Young, but on a championship team, he's so necessary to have. I'm going to have him on All-Star. His defense is probably one of the best, if not the best in the league. This guy is insane in that laterally, he's just with you every step of the way. Now, offensively, he may have his struggles and he may go 9 for 25, 9 for 24, 5 for 15, but he can still hit a three very consistently. I got to say, great defender, decent offensive player. I'm going to have him right there. D'Lo, above average. Didn't show up when it counted defensively at all. Offensively, we know that he can get it going, and we know that he can find his teammates, but it's also a lack of consistency, too, that really kills him. Devontae Graham. I mean, on the Pelicans, didn't even do much there, so that's without Zion. Even before CJ got there, just didn't do much. Sorry, Devontae. Just nothing special going on there. D Rose. When healthy, he's above average. He's never healthy, so I'm going to consider him average. Like, seriously, Derrick Rose is never healthy. Really solid player. I know the Adidas brand loves him because the people in Europe love him. So, shout out to D Rose. Kemba Walker just has not been the same at all since injuries. Ever since he left the Hornets, really, it's just all been downhill from there, unfortunately. Shai, all-star caliber player. You don't hear enough about him because he's on the Thunder. My guy can do it all. He's got the moves. He's got the dribble. He's got the shot. Doesn't pass at a great level yet, but offensively, he's just such a juggernaut. Cole Anthony, I'd say he's above average, but he's also on the Magic, so it's kind of hard to gauge how above average he is because he doesn't have a lot of people competing with him for time of the ball in their hands. So, yeah, Markelle Fultz, I think he's above average when healthy. The dude can score. The dude has a jumper now. Honestly, really impressed with how far he's come along, especially with his arm being so jacked up. When healthy, definitely above average. Ben Simmons, all-star caliber when he wants to play. This season, you guys will see that again. Yes, he has no jumper, literally no, because he won't take any. Obviously had the yips in that playoff run with the Sixers. Passed up a wide open dunk. He'll get back to being a really good regular season player. It's just really the question is, what will he do in the playoffs? And yeah, that's probably the biggest question. What will he do when the lights are shining bright? Dennis Schroeder, average. The guy fumbled the bag. Not a lot to say there. He passed up on 4 years, $84 million. As a Laker fan, thank goodness. But oh man, he fumbled the bag. Chris Paul, currently all-star caliber player. Obviously this is not his prime, so that's different, but great leader, great, probably one of the best facilitators in the game, if not the best, maybe alongside Luka, one of those two. Can't really say enough about Chris Paul. He's just been doing it so well for so long. So yeah, Chris Paul. Damian Lillard, superstar when healthy. Wasn't healthy this past season, but look forward to this season if you're a Blazer fan, because this guy is really going to show what he can do again and again and again and again, especially when the lights shine bright. De'Aaron Fox, all-star caliber player. He's been really good for a long time, or I say for as long as he's been in the league. He's just never been bad, but who has been bad is the team he's on, which is the Kings, and it doesn't help his viewership and people watching him. DeJounte Murray, all-star caliber player, the newest Hawks player, along with Trae Young in the backcourt. That's going to be a really exciting team to watch, and I just can't say a whole lot more other than let's wait and see how fun they're going to be to watch. Goran Dragic, average, nothing special going on there, but solid. Fred VanVleet, I definitely think he's on the lower end of the all-star caliber team here. I guess you could argue he's better than Ben Simmons because he's playing, and Ben Simmons just isn't playing for other reasons. Fred VanVleet is very, I would say, inconsistent sometimes and can really just blunder up a game. But when he shows out, like, this guy can just drop a 40 piece and make it look effortless. So Fred VanVleet, all-star. Mike Conley, above average. He has come so far along with his three-point shooting. He's become very consistent with it. And he's obviously not the player he once was, but he's a solid piece. Jordan Clarkson, another above average. Great six-man to have. Great scorer, not so much defender, but the guy can score, and he's just a natural scorer. He can do it all on the offensive end. Peyton Pritchard, below average. Doesn't get a lot of minutes. I want to say in the playoffs, he'd have 8 or 9 minute games. Wouldn't have much of an impact aside from hitting a couple of threes here and there. We'll see what he does moving forward, but for now, can't really speak on that. Kyrie Irving, perennial all-star. Kyrie Irving's not better than John Morant and Damian Lillard just because of the stuff he brings off the court. If we're just talking about solely skill, if we're just talking about skill and skill only, Kyrie Irving would be here. Because in terms of skill, there's not a lot who can do it better than Kyrie Irving. But the guy always being problems wherever he goes. Ever since he left the Cavs, it's just pretty much been downhill from there. And I don't want to say why or what is the reason, but just off the court, there's a lot of problems, and it's unfortunate. So for those reasons, he's a perennial all-star. But if we're just talking about skill, he would definitely be a superstar. LaMelo Ball, definitely an all-star caliber player. Needs to, and I mean needs to pick it up defensively, because if your coach is taking you out in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go, a minute to go for defensive reasons, and you're LaMelo Ball, that's got to change. You cannot be a superstar if you cannot stay in the game with a minute to go, 2 minutes to go. And also, he went into foul trouble a lot over some terrible fouls, and that's on him. So if he can pick up those mental mistakes, mental errors, look for him to become a perennial all-star. Terry Rozier, another player here who can just score. Really good at it. Hit the three ball so well this past season. Can't really say enough about it, but defensively, another player who needs to pick it up. Darius Garland, all-star. Yes, sir. This guy can do the jelly. He can pass the ball in the most creative ways. Watching Darius Garland is definitely a treat, and he really gave it all that he had this past season with the Cavs. Just look for them to mature and to move forward with their growth as a team. Ricky Rubio, I mean, didn't even play because of I believe it was an ACL injury. And even then, yeah. Luka, superstar for obvious reasons. He single-handedly destroyed the Suns. He just tore them apart. And that last game was an embarrassment to the entire Suns organization. It was an embarrassment for Chris Paul. It definitely hurt Devin Booker's legacy at least a little bit. I mean, dude, you just got destroyed, manhandled by one guy named Luka Doncic. And obviously you had help from Jalen Brunson, but I mean, this guy had it rolling. Kyle Lowry. It's kind of hard to speak on Kyle Lowry because you know that he can be an all-star, but with this past season and the injuries and just his age, it doesn't seem to be all there anymore like it used to. So for that, he's an above-average guard. But honestly, I feel really confident with this list. I think this list looks really solid. Very comfortable with this list, actually. But yeah. Steph Curry, superstar. John Morant, superstar. Luka and Dame Time, superstars. Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, perennial all-stars. LaMelo Ball, Darius Garland, especially, I think will move up there given time. Same could go for Shai. Same could really be said about DeJounte or De'Aaron if put under the right circumstances and in the right system. But yeah, Darius Garland and LaMelo could be creeping up there if they just pick a couple things up, especially on the defensive end. I know Darius Garland and LaMelo can steal the ball, but there's a lot more to defense than just stealing the ball. So there you have it. I'm actually really happy with how this list turned out. This is All We've Been Different. All We've Been Different. And we out.